ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Radio WMST, your worldwide news channel, for when the cell and television tower signals are jammed for no reason in particular. We're in for quite the special treat today, dear listeners. We have full, competition-free coverage of the newly introduced Teen Health Re-Education Program with my co-host Olivia, who is currently driving down to our local center of re-education. She will be updating us with special, inside coverage on how the center's newly instated teen health programs plan to deal with sexual re-education. But before we get into that, I must welcome into the studio the genius behind the program, Dr. DULCINEO. Welcome to Radio WMST, Doctor.
It's great to be here. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
My apologies. It's Harlow. But I would prefer that you call me Miss. Wouldn't want to confuse my listeners now, would we?
Of course, miss. Of course. Now, about the program.
Ah, yes. Got a little off track there. Now, Doctor, what first gave you the notion of a re-education program related to teen health? We've had the re-education centers for years now, but only for those suffering academically. Why bring a biological factor?
Oh, yes. Well, miss, it's been well known for years that promoting basic abstinence programs have seen quite the opposite effect in young adults. Heck, it's hard enough to try and re-educate teenagers as is, with them going on rants on how they want free will and the right to choose re-education because they're smart enough and deserve basic human rights.
Care to elaborate, Doctor?
Of course, miss. That is my job. Without proper initial education, repeated or otherwise, teens contribute up to half of new HIV infections in the public, and 3 million contract sexually transmitted diseases each year. And that's not even counting the 210,000 teens that give birth to unplanned children. I know, miss. I hate children as much as the next re-education programmer, but unplanned children are, putting it into scientific terms, actually the worst.
But Doctor, I thought that the teenage birth rate has actually gone down significantly before the teen health program was introduced.
Oh, it has. By 67% since the year 1991, actually. But that doesn't mean we should trust teenagers with their own sexual health by any means. They aren't old enough to be taken seriously. Why let them have the same privilege that we adults are definitely mature and sophisticated enough to handle on our own and with our partners? That's why we created the program in the first place.
So, Doctor...
Please, call me BAREN.
No, I will not. So, Doctor, I know you've been talking a lot about what's wrong with teenagers these days. And as much as I love that topic, tell me, what exactly is the Teen Health Re-Education Program?
Well, as I mentioned before, abstinence programs have the opposite effect on the teenage brain. So the obvious way for reverse psychology to take place is to expose all teens to as much sex as possible.
Isn't that what the teens were doing in the first place?
Yes, but they're doing it wrong. I will admit that our own program is not to encourage abstinence in teens, rather to make sure that they don't spread disease in pregnancy, although abstinence would be an added bonus.
So what does your program do?
What we found while developing the program is that teenage attention spans are too short for a traditional health classroom environment to learn sexual technique and contraception methods correctly. So we at Teen Health Re-Education provide teens with a proper technique and a hands-on approach. We understand the importance of an intimate classroom setting, so we provide a one-to-one re-educator to subject ratio, with each pair getting their own lab room for the advanced study.
Before you get too far ahead, how do subjects start the program, and what does a normal day entail?
We usually start off each subject with a standardized test to see at what level of sexual knowledge they have before we match each one up with a re-educator of greater experience. That's what we tell the subjects to get better scores, of course. Each subject goes over the same material no matter what sexual level they have. The only thing that varies is to what depth they go into with their re-educator. Next, the subject is introduced to their intimacy lab, where they will receive their education or re-education depending on the level of knowledge. The re-educator will then ask the subject to remove their clothes and sit on the lab table to begin their sexual techniques unit.
But wouldn't this be extremely uncomfortable for the subject?
Oh, without a doubt, but that's just part of the program. Gaining an intimacy with partner, love interest or not, can be awkward at the beginning. By exposing a subject and re-educator to each other right away will limit the difficulty in successful lovemaking.
Now, is that the only instruction that the subjects are exposed to?
Oh, why, of course not. Please, miss, you used to be in the re-education field. You know that any good study comes from multiple sources.
You got me.
Now, to answer your question, we recognize that a kinetic experience may not fully immerse the subject enough, so we provide mandatory visual supplements every 2 hours of intimacy lab to reinvigorate both subject and re-educator, as well as to better understand the technical aspect from other partners. This is usually provided through videos in the intimacy labs or in one of our specially designed lecture halls where one lucky subject is tested on their new knowledge by yours truly. It's one of our highest honors in the program, if I do say so myself.
That sounds like such a wondrous opportunity for our young people. Let's check in with my darling co-host Olivia, who just arrived at the Re-Education Center. Hi, Olivia. How are you making out down there?
To be honest, miss, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. The math center told me that the new wing was right down this long and ominous hallway, but I don't see any markings or signs that would indicate a new building.
Oh, it's the small door at the end of the hallway. Oh, we don't like to publicly display where our new health center is, so the subjects in our wing can stay there. Don't want to leave re-education before it's complete.
Never mind, I found it. Man, it is really dark in here. Are you having power issues at the center, or are you not hooked up to the main grid yet?
No, we have found that the darker and less interesting we make the main room, the more focused our subjects will be on the brightly lit signs and labs, and make escaping harder.
What was that last bit?
Nothing.
Okay. I just found a sign labeled Observation Room. Can you tell me anything about that, Doctor?
Oh, yes, that is my office. It is my job to keep close surveillance tabs on all re-educators and subjects, so it is guaranteed that all subjects are receiving proper attention. People are easily distracted, so why let that factor into a teenager's education?
Is it alright if I take a peek in? I'm still kind of fuzzy to what you actually do here.
Of course. Excuse me, miss. Just out of curiosity, how old is your co-host?
If I remember correctly, she just turned 17. One of the brightest advanced interns that I've worked with at the station. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason.
Doctor, are you still there?
Oh, yes, I am, Olivia. And please, dear, call me Baron.
Are you, Baron?
I'm sorry?
Don't worry about it too much, Doc. Now, what am I observing? All I see is a bunch of security cam footage. Oh my god. Oh my god! What the hell is this? Why are they all having sex?
As I explained to Miss, it is part of the intimacy lab section of learning to further physical.
I don't care what you call it, you sick freak. Your subjects, as you call them, are being forced to have sex with your adult re-educators in a topic for which they should be taught in a safe environment. Not in a lab where the only thing in it is a table and a video monitor. You don't even have any thought for the possibly gay students. Did you even think about that?
Of course I did. Don't be so naive. The LGBT students have to go through the same training as the heterosexual students before they are officially declared as such by me and the rest of the re-educators in a special lecture session.
You know what? You can't get away with this. I'm gonna tell the whole world how you're forcing... Hey, who are they? Let go of me. I'm not a subject. I work for WMS...
I am so sorry about that, Doctor. I had no idea that she was so strong-willed. Will she be okay? I need to know whether or not to file for a new intern.
Oh, she'll be fine, but she won't be able to work here anymore. I can't have any of my trade secrets getting out to the public.
I suppose not. That sure would ruin the re-education system, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Now, Olivia might not be able to work here, but there are a few advanced positions I could put her in the observation room, if you could offer a recommendation.
Of course. She wouldn't be able to decide where to go or what to do without explicit adult instruction. Now would she? Well, that just about wraps up our show for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you know any teen that are at risk for contracting STDs or engages in possible pregnancy-inducing sex, they will be in the experienced hands of Dr. Dulcineo and his re-educators at the new Teen Health Re-Education Program. Anything else you'd like to add, Doctor?
If Olivia's parents or friends are listening, do not worry about her. She will be taking residency at the center with me. She will be receiving the top-of-the-line job training from yours truly, so she will be constantly simulated and tied up in her work. So contact from the outside is discouraged.
And with that totally un-ominous message, signing off. This has been Radio WMST with your worldwide news.